Then I saw a great white throne, and him who sat upon it, from whose presence earth and heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. Heaven and earth are seen fleeing from the face of him who sits on the throne. Does this mean that the present heaven and earth are being destroyed just before the judgment? Not sure. And books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from the things which were written in the books according to their deeds. Christ died for men's sins, but when men reject God's plan of salvation, they are effectively saying that they will stand on their own merit or in their own righteousness. So God will judge their deeds, how much they match up to God's holy character, the moral law, their conscience, and the revelation of creation. And God will show that all have fallen short, thus guilty before God. This is the second resurrection, after the 1,000 years were completed. Remember Revelation 1:18, where Christ said that he holds the keys of death and Hades? When the day of judgment arrives, the physical bodies of all unbelievers will be resurrected, regardless of where they are, in the sea or in the graves. Hades will be empty of the souls who are there. Body and soul will be reunited and judged. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. Death is thrown into the lake of fire, indicating that from this point on, there will be no more physical death. Death is the last enemy to be overcome. Hades, all those who were in Hades are cast into the lake of fire. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death. This is an awful destiny, and one which should cause deep concern to our hearts for many of our friends and family members who may be here because they did not believe in Jesus Christ as a Savior. Matthew 25:41 says, "The eternal fire has been prepared for the devil and his angels." The lake of fire is not made for man, but man chose to reject the salvation that God freely offered. Instead, they chose to listen to Satan and follow him into the lake of fire. At an individual level, if you have only one birth, physical birth only, then you will face two deaths, physical death and the second death in the lake of fire, eternally separated from God. Though unbelievers are judged by their works, it is evident that their destiny is determined by whether their names are written in the book of life, whether they had come to God for the gift of spiritual life, the second birth. If a man has two births, both physical and spiritual, then he may face physical death if he dies before the rapture, but he can never face the second death because he has been made spiritually alive in Jesus Christ. His name is written in the book of life.